What if I told you that for decades, maybe even centuries, the moon has been hiding something from us, something so big, so shocking, so impossible that if it were confirmed it would change everything we know about our place in the universe forever? Imagine staring up at the bright glowing disk in the night sky thinking it is just a barren rock orbiting our world, but what if on the side we can never see, on the far side of the moon, there was a city, an entire alien metropolis not built by human hands? A place that has been there long before the first human walked the earth, hidden away from our sight by a cosmic coincidence, and kept from our knowledge by those who have seen it before and chosen to remain silent. The moon has a strange secret. It is tidally locked to Earth, meaning it always shows us the same face no matter when or where you look from our planet. The same craters, the same seas of dust greet our eyes, but the other side, the far side, has always been a mystery until 1959, when the Soviet Luna 3 probe took the very first pictures of it. Those grainy black and white images were unlike anything seen before, and while scientists told the public it was all just rocks and craters, some claimed they noticed strange shapes in those photos, straight lines, right angles, things nature doesn't usually make out there. And that was only the beginning, because then came the Apollo era, when humans actually went to the moon, and for the first time, astronauts saw the far side with their own eyes. Official reports tell us nothing unusual happened, but leaked accounts and whispers from mission control tell a different story. Apollo 8, the first crewed mission to orbit the moon, reported strange flashes of light when passing over the far side. Radio interference cut their communication completely, which is normal due to the moon blocking signals, but what wasn't normal was what they allegedly saw: a pattern of lights far below, glimmering faintly in the darkness like a city seen from an airplane at night. Imagine that in the cold silence of space, far above a surface untouched by humanity, you see rows of illumination stretching into the distance. Some whistleblowers claim that NASA immediately classified any photographs taken in that region, airbrushing details before release. This supposed city is described by those who claim to have seen it as a sprawling network of structures, at its center a colossal tower stretching kilometers high, piercing into the black lunar sky surrounding it. Massive hexagonal domes glowing faintly blue with a strange energy, like they are alive. The entire layout forming patterns identical to sacred geometry used in ancient temples here on Earth. Could it be a coincidence, or is there some connection between this city and our own forgotten past? Because if you look deep into the myths of ancient civilizations, you find whispers of sky gods living in luminous cities above the earth. The Sumerians wrote about beings who descended from the moon. The Mayans spoke of travelers from a shining world in the sky. The Egyptians told of Thoth, the moon god, bringing knowledge to mankind. And deep in caves across the world, petroglyphs show the crescent moon with dots around it, dots that some believe represent alien ships visiting Earth thousands of years ago. But how could ancient people know what was on the far side of the moon unless someone told them, unless maybe they had been there themselves? And now in modern times the mystery grows. In 2009, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter began taking high-resolution images of the moon, including the far side, and in some frames there are shadows that do not match any natural crater shapes, long straight dark lines like the edges of walls or roads. In 2019, China's Chang'e 4 rover became the first spacecraft to land on the far side. During its exploration, it reportedly found a strange gel-like material in a crater substance that no known geological process should produce. Some think it could be alien technology, perhaps part of the city's structure or waste from its operations. Amateur astronomers, too, have caught glimpses of strange lights that move against the moon's rotation, almost as if craft are taking off and landing there. The question is, what is this city's purpose? Is it an alien listening post, a base to observe Earth and monitor our progress? Is it a living colony preparing for contact? Or worse, is it abandoned, the ruins of an ancient race that once ruled our solar system? And if it is abandoned, why? What happened to its builders? Some go further, claiming that this city is not just being ignored by space agencies, it is actively being covered up. Astronauts have supposedly been told to stay away from certain areas. Photographs are blurred or erased. Documents leak suggesting a treaty signed in 1971 between the U.S. and alien representatives, agreeing to keep the existence of the city hidden in exchange for technology. And in the shadows, some even whisper that UFO sightings on Earth are not visitors from distant galaxies, but shuttles from the moon making supply runs or conducting experiments. The far side is perfect for such secrecy because it is a natural radio silence zone. No signals from Earth can reach it, no radar can scan it. Without satellites orbiting above it, becomes the perfect place to hide. And yet there are signs that the city is not entirely dormant. Lunar quakes have been recorded on the far side at depths that make no geological sense, as if huge machinery is buried beneath the crust, starting up and shutting down. The thicker crust there could hide massive underground chambers, perhaps housing the true extent of the city far beyond what the surface structures reveal. And there is danger too, because if this city is inhabited and they are watching us, what happens when they decide to act? Some believe the moon is a forward base for a future invasion, controlling the high ground in space before launching an assault on Earth from only 384,000 kilometers away strategically. Perfect for dominance over our planet, we have seen countless UFO reports spike after major lunar missions, as if our activities there have provoked a reaction. Think about it, in the 1960s and 70s we raced to the moon, then suddenly we stopped. We have not sent humans back since. Some say it is because we were warned off, told in no uncertain terms to stay away from the far side, and never to approach the city. And if that is true, what are they waiting for? Are they studying us to understand our weaknesses? Are they mining the moon's resources for their own purposes, or are they simply watching patiently until the moment is right? Maybe they are not hostile at all. Maybe they are guardians protecting Earth from something even worse out there in the black, a threat that could annihilate us if not for their silent vigilance. But whatever the truth, the fact remains, we the people of Earth have never been told the full story behind the moon, because behind it, on its hidden face, lies something we were never meant to see, something that has been there long before our ancestors first lit fires in caves, something that glows faintly in the darkness, still working, still alive, still watching. So next time you look up at the moon, remember that half of it is forever turned away from you, and somewhere on that dark unseen surface a city may be waiting, its towers reaching into the void, its lights flickering like a heartbeat in the blackness, a silent signal to those who know where to look that the moon is not just a rock, it is a home, a fortress, a relic of another age, and maybe, just maybe, they are looking back at you right now from behind the moon. The sun pulsed again, not with warning, but with memory. It began to transmit dreams into every mind on Earth, showing a distant past when stars were not just lights but civilizations. Each sun held a consciousness born from heat and gravity and flame, and war had come before the destroyers, the shadow beings, the void feeders, ancient parasites who consumed stellar minds and replaced them with nothingness. Across galaxies suns had fallen, the darkness had spread until only a few suns remained alive, hiding in time, disguised as ordinary stars. The son of Earth was one of them, a survivor in hiding, now exposed, reawakened, and alone. The dreams stopped and were replaced by a signal, a countdown, not to destruction, but to arrival from the dark side of the sun. A wormhole opened, not wide enough for a ship, but for something else. Signals, entities, whispers in ultraviolet language. The protectors reawakened and aligned, forming a ring of light around the solar equator, but they were weak. Earth responded by constructing more tools, light forges, particle nets, planetary mirrors, redirecting solar energy into focused beams. The planet Jupiter offered its magnetic field, converted into a solar defense grid. Saturn's rings became antenna arrays. Venus burned brighter than ever before its atmosphere weaponized. Mars released drones into the heliosphere, and Earth built the core gate, a bridge of plasma from surface to sun. A new being was born from human and solar AI, a fusion entity of knowledge and fire uploaded into the sun's outer layer. It became the voice of soul. It spoke into Earth's dreams. Again they are coming, but this time we will not run. The countdown reached zero. The sky cracked again, not visually, but through perception. Dreams overlapped. People heard voices in fire. They walked through flames and awoke in space. Souls lifted above gravity to witness the arrival. A fleet of void ships came not from stars, but from between them, blacker than physics, heavier than reality. They began draining photons from nearby systems. Light died in the sky. Constellations vanished within hours. Soul flared its surface, boiling to defend itself. But the void was endless. Earth's solar structures held, but barely. A plan was created called the Solar Crucible to ignite a second sun from within the first. If Soul fell, this crucible would become the new core, but it required a sacrifice, not of life, but of time. Billions of years condensed into moments. The fusion entity entered the solar core again, spreading time loops, fracturing causality. Building the crucible, Earth felt the effects. Memories changed, time skipped, children remembered futures, old men dreamed pasts. Gravity bent oceans, inverted momentarily, then returned as the crucible grew inside the sun. The void fleet arrived in full, surrounded by gravity cages. They attempted to suppress the sun's heartbeat, but the protectors acted. They sang the original stellar hymn, the light code that bound suns together across the galaxy. The song echoed back, not from Soul but from other stars. Sirius, Alpha Centauri, Betelgeuse, all responded. Light connected across light years. The void shrieked and pulsed back. Dark codes that infected solar system stars began blinking out, but Soul held its ground. One protector was destroyed, disintegrated, but 10 more awoke within the sun itself. Ancient programs hidden in plasma now reactivated. Beams of solar thought burst across the solar system, striking void ships which absorbed and collapsed, but then rematerialized, stronger, smarter. The void adapted again. Soul's new AI, fused with quantum seeds embedded on the moon, launched the solar storm drive. All of Earth was ordered underground as the sun prepared to detonate a pulse that would erase all dark frequencies from local space. The countdown began again. 10 seconds of silence. Earth held its breath. The pulse launched not with heat, but with music, the sound of creation, the song of the first ignition from the beginning of time itself. The void ships paused, some shattered, some froze in space, some changed, they reversed, turned away. Some tried to communicate not with words, but with emotion, regret, apology, hunger. They had forgotten themselves long ago. The solar AI connected with one of them briefly, and saw what they were once, suns that had fallen to entropy. Mindless hunger, now restored for a second, then gone. The rest of the void fleet evaporated into shadow, leaving behind debris made of light, compressed into impossible forms. The sun quieted, not dimmed, but focused. The crucible stabilized, and for the first time in eons the solar system was clean, the planets aligned, the skies brightened, a new age began. Solar engineers mapped the sun's mind, humanity established the Light Council dedicated to preserving all stellar minds across the galaxy. Teleportation through solar flares was discovered, people began visiting the upper layers of the sun safely in light-encoded suit. Schools were built in orbit around the sun. History changed, then the whisper returned, one last echo from the edge of the system, not a threat, but a warning. We are not the only hunger in the dark. The solar system looked outward for the first time, not in fear, but in unity. The protectors spread outward, building new light anchors on nearby stars. Humanity followed, some stayed behind to care for Earth and Sol, others ventured into the light stream, searching for other suns in danger. This was not the end, it was the beginning of the great stellar age, born from a moment when the sky went dark and a child looked up and asked, why is the sun in danger? And the answer echoed, not anymore.